Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nidhi Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyarisha Dharine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyarisha Dharine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasati Gaur Bhaktarinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasati Gaur Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Gauranidhai Jaya Gauranidhai Gauranidhai Jaya Gauranidhai Gauranidhai Jaya Gauranidhai Nittai Sachisundara Nittai Sachisundara Nittai Sachisundara Nittai Sachisundara Jaya Nittai Sachisundara Nittai Sachisundara Nittai Sachisundara Jaya Nittai Sachisundara Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Prabhupada Prabhupada, Jai Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Welcome Prakash, welcome Amit. Are you okay, Amit? How is everything?
Hello, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yes, I am well.
Yes, yeah, come close like that. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Good. And you are well? Hare Krishna. So what verse shall we look at tonight? I have a verse, but if you have anything, Amit says, then
We could look at 931 if you want, Prabhu.
931. Let's have a look what that is. 931.
But my devotee never perishes.
Oh. Kaundya Pradicanihi Name Bhakta Pranashyati. What a beautiful verse. What a beautiful, you're excelling yourself more and more. Last time you had Desham Saddada Yuktanam. Okay. So I would say let's share that screen. Here we are. And Amit, would you like to read us that Sanskrit?
Yes,
Shloka?
Prabhu, I can do, yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tisipra Bhavati Dharmatma. Shashvak Chitim
Chantim.
Chantam. Shashvak Chantam Nigachati.
Nigachati.
Nigachati. Kunteya Rati Jani. Nama Bhakti Pranasyati. Yati.
Name
Name
Bhakta.
Bhakta Pranasyati.
Yes, Pranashyati. Very nice. Well done. Okay. Let's go down. Translation.
He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes.
Purport.
This should not be misunderstood. In the 7th chapter, the Lord says that one who is engaged in mischievous activities cannot become a devotee of the Lord. One who is not a devotee of the Lord has no qualification whatsoever. The question remains then, how can a person engage in abnormal activity, either by accident or by intention, be a pure devotee? This question may justly be raised. The miscreants stated in the 7th chapter, who never come to the devotional self to the Lord, have no good qualification, as is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Bhagavatam.
Generally, a devotee is engaged in the 9 kinds of devotional activities and is engaged in the process of cleansing all material contamination from the heart. He puts the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, and all simple contamination are naturally washed away. Continuous thinking of the Supreme Lord makes him pure by nature. According to the Vedas, there is a certain regulation that if one falls down from his exalted position, he has to undergo certain ritualistic processes to purify himself. But here, there is no such condition, because the purifying process is already there in the heart of the devotee, due to his remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare should be continued without stoppage. This will protect the devotee from all accidental fall downs. He will thus remain perpetually free from all material contamination.
Thank you, Amit.
What a lovely verse.
What a lovely verse, sir. Purport everything. I will mute you just to make sure we don't get any noises. If you want to speak, you unmute yourself. So let's go back to the top. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly, said my devotee will never perish. So, let me just quickly check something in my settings. Okay, so it should give us a better sound. Okay. So he quickly becomes righteous. We need the context. We need to go back to the previous verse, which is, even if one commits, translation, even if one commits the most abominable actions. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that in his purport of today's verse. So here is what he's referring to. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. We have spoken on this verse before, I don't remember, Saturday, Wednesday. But take the example. You did some decorating at home and you have paint over yourself and you're pretty dirty and you take a shower after your paint job, your decoration job, and you just in the shower and someone tells you, you are so dirty. You are so abominable dirty. Abominable action here, Krishna says. So what's the point? He is dirty, but that person is in the shower. So here Lord Krishna is saying, he is considered saintly, even so he is dirty. He has done some dirty things, something by prolonged association with his material energy. We are all conditioned. We have committed so many sinful activities. So even if we trying to become Krishna conscious, it can happen at the beginning that we fall down from that position and committing some not so good, some abominable action. We're breaking one of the principles, for instance. That is abominable. So, but if we are in the shower, if we engage in devotional service, which is a shower, that person is considered to be clean already, because it's only a question of time until in 5-10 minutes you're standing in the shower with the paint all over you, you will be clean. So likewise, if such a person who fell down from his position by association, previous association and habit with the material illusory energy, but if that person keeps on in devotional service and chanting Hare Krishna and regrets his fall down, He still is rightly positioned, because, as Lord Krishna says, he is considered saintly because he's properly situated in his determination. So that person who falls down but gets up and carries on in his devotional service, he is properly situated in his determination. Determination is very important. We want to become Krishna conscious. Okay, we fall down by accident. We're getting up and we are determined. Okay, I'll try again. It's like a child. We have all seen young children when they're trying to walk. So many times they fall down. Generally, they don't stay down for very long and crying, I fell down. Some children do like that. They're crying and hoping the mother will come pick them up. But if that is not successful, then they're just getting up again. So fall down, they're getting up again. Fall down, they're getting up again. And as they progress, they will less and less fall down until they walk perfectly and they don't fall down. The same is with Krishna consciousness. By accident we fall down, but we are properly situated in our determination. We're getting up again. No point of lamenting and stopping the process. No, we're getting up again and engage with full determination in our devotional service. So that was that previous verse, just to get the context. Now here, Krishna is saying, that person, like that child who fell down, he will quickly get up and quickly learns to walk. So here Krishna is saying, he quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. We all want lasting peace. Everybody wants peace. Peace of mind. It's so important. Peace of mind. I was speaking with two different people over the week who both of them hankered for peace of mind. People are so disturbed in our present day and age of Kali Yuga, and as this time period is progressing, people become more and more disturbed. More and more. Because Kali Yuga is progressing very fast. There are conflicts and wars all around the world. And people are becoming disturbed. And not only from what to speak, if there is a war starting in Europe and we are all involved, UK and France and Germany and so on. Then, people are even more disturbed. But people are disturbed by their own mind. There are three disturbances in this material world. Technically, they're called Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika, and Adhidevika. Right? Adhidevika, that word deva is there, demigods. The demigods causing us disturbance. The demigods controlling the rain, the heat, all of that, cold. So Adhidevika means natural disturbances, too much flooding, too much rain. We're not happy. Too hot, 40 degrees. We can't do anything. So we're disturbed, too hot, too cold. Earthquakes, snowstorms, volcanic eruptions, tsunami, all these disturbances. We don't feel it very much in the UK. We're living in a very tempered climate. Yes, too much rain, we feel that. and it's cold. It's not nice. So that is one disturbance. Adibautika. That's another disturbance in this. There's these three miseries. Adibautika means we getting disturbed from other living entities. That happens all the time. We're falling out with someone, or we are nice to someone and they're not nice towards us. Very disturbing. At work, in family, even brothers falling out with each other, in relationships, husband and wife falling out with each other. The husband walks off. I want a divorce. How much disturbance is that? So much disturbance from other living entity. And not only that, there can be disturbance from mosquitoes, for instance. They're biting us all over. Bed bugs. So many things. So that is the second kind of disturbance. And the third is adhyatmika. That is everywhere. Atma. Atma is a self. In this case, it means adhyatmika, disturbance from our own mind. Mental disturbance. People are very much under mental disturbance. They don't have peace of mind. Everyone wants peace of mind, but few can find it. That's a verse I wanted to look at tonight. We can do it next time. Bhaktaram yagyatapasam. How to become free from the pangs of material miseries. These three we just have discussed. These are the pangs of material miseries besides birth, death, old age, and disease. These are the big, big pangs of material miseries. We cannot escape any of them. But even if we suffering on that level of adhyatmika of our own mind is disturbed. We cannot find any peacefulness. The mind is so restless. The uncontrolled mind is going here and there and everywhere and hankering. And if the mind is hankering for something and we cannot get it, we are disturbed. And if we get it and it doesn't last, again we are disturbed. So we have enemies and friends and all of that. Lasting peace. He quickly becomes righteous. The one who's standing in the shower, the one who is fixed in his determination to become Krishna conscious. He quickly. What does Krishna mean quickly? Well, not in 5 minutes, but relatively quickly. If he is, well, the case could be made. Srila Prabhupada has been asked, how long does it take to become fully Krishna conscious? Fully. On the pure devotional platform. How long does it take? How many years? Srila Prabhupada said 1 minute. Well, it can take 1 minute if we are determined. It's just, how long does it take to switch on the light? 1 minute. Just flick the switch. So it's the same here. Flick the switch of consciousness. Being connected with Krishna, becoming actually Krishna conscious. Takes 1 minute. So he quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. Peace formula. Bhaktaram yakyatapasam, that's a peace formula. And then Krishna makes a very important statement. O son of Kunti, of course, that's Arjuna, son of Kunti. Kunti is his mother. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. So why? It could be asked, and it has been asked, why is Krishna not declaring it? My devotee, I declare, my devotee will never perish. Why he's asking Arjuna to declare it? There's an explanation for this. Krishna, in certain circumstances, he has broken his promise out of love for his devotee. Prakash is gone, okay. Out of love for his devotee. For instance, Krishna has promised, I will not fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. But when Bhishma Dev ferociously attacked Arjuna with arrows after arrow after arrow, ready to kill him, then Krishna felt he had to break his promise for the sake of his dearmost devotee and friend. So he rushed from the chariot, took the wheel, and ran towards Bhishma Dev to kill him. So Krishna has not always kept his promise. So if Krishna would have declared, I declare, my devotee will never perish, then people would have said, yes, Krishna promises, but he's not always keeping his promise. So it may be true, it may not be true. But if a devotee promises something, Krishna will make sure the promise of a devotee will never go in vain. Never. So much love Krishna has for his devotees. Like, example, when his devotee, Lord Brahma, gave benedictions to the demon Hiranyakashipu, said he couldn't be killed in the day, not at night, nor in the house, nor out of the house, not by any weapon, not by any animal, not like that. Then Krishna honored said promise of Lord Brahma, his devotee, and he appeared as Lord Nrsimhadev. Not man, not animal, but half man, half animal. He killed him not in the house, not out, but on the doorstep. He killed him not at day, not at night, but at twilight. So Krishna makes sure the promises of his devotees, of his pure devotees, are always honored. That is why he says, Arjuna, you declare it. You're my devotee. My devotees will never perish. So let's go to Srila Prabhupada's purport a bit. Generally, Srila Prabhupada writes, a devotee who is engaged in the 9 kinds of devotional services, activities. What are the 9 kinds of devotional activities? Let's look at that. That's very famous. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Patasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, which translates as hearing, chanting, remembering, prayers, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, or Atmanivedanam, surrendering everything like Bali Maharaj. Sakyam, becoming a friend, and so on. So this is the 9 types of devotional service. All devotional service falls within the category of any of these 9 types. So here, Srila Prabhupada writes, generally a devotee who is engaged in the 9 kinds of devotional activities is engaged in the process of cleansing all material contamination from the heart. That's a process to make the heart clean by these 9 types of bhakti. He, the devotee, puts the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart. And all sinful contaminations are naturally washed away, like the shower. Naturally, you keep on scrubbing in the shower, you will be clean. Due course of time, it may take a little bit of time. So that's a secret. I just to set person, devotee today, I explained one important thing. We have to have a love affair with Krishna. It sounds strange, or might sound strange, but we have a love affair. A devotee has a love affair with Krishna in any of the relationships. It may be as a friend. So we have a love affair. That's also a love affair with a friend. Krishna is a best friend. Or it may be Krishna as a lover, as our husband, so to speak. We have a loving relationship, a love affair with Krishna. But in any case, on what, or parental love, like Masa Yashoda, Nanda Baba, like Devaki, like Vasudev. That's also a love affair. We're loving our children. That's a love affair with our children. Love affair doesn't necessarily mean with the opposite sex. Generally, it's understood like that. But that's not the true meaning. Love affair means just love. A lot of love. So we have loving exchanges with Krishna as a friend, as a parent, as a lover. And then all these contaminations will be washed away. Hare Krishna, welcome. Rituan Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, it's Amrita. Radhe Devi.
Oh yeah, you're impersonating again. Okay. Welcome Amrita Radhe Mataji. Next time I'll say, welcome Amrita Radhe Mataji. It's always Rituan. So it's a difficult position. So let's go back. We're discussing Bhagavad Gītā 9:31. Kaunteya pradicanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Well, back to Srila Prabhupada's purport. He writes, the devotee puts the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, and all sinful contaminations are naturally washed away. Then Srila Prabhupada carries on, continuous thinking of the Lord makes him pure by nature. Well, here we are again. Continuous thinking of the Lord, the Supreme Lord. What does that mean? Continuous thinking. It means exactly that. We might think that is difficult to achieve, but it's not. We're getting involved in Krishna consciousness more and more and more until we continuously thinking of the Lord. So if we want to become pure in nature, then that continuous thinking of Krishna is necessary. How can we do that? We thinking of Krishna on and off. Now we're thinking of Krishna because we're hearing Krishna Katha. But at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, that thinking may be interrupted and we're thinking of something else. Continuous thinking does not mean we don't do anything else. Does not mean that at all. We have to stop all our activity and just sit in meditation on Krishna. No. Meditation on Krishna, which is continuous thinking, meditation, doesn't mean to sit cross-legged with half-closed eyes. That is a yogic practice. Yes, that is very powerful also. But the Krishna conscious process is even more powerful. We can think of Krishna while doing so many activities throughout our day. What stops us of thinking of Krishna, for instance, when we eat our lunch? What stops us? What we're thinking when we eat our lunch? So many things. The worst thing would be to eating our lunch and we have the television on the wall. And we're thinking of, we don't even appreciate the prasadam then. But we can have nothing else going on. While eating, we can think of Krishna. We can think of this beautiful prasadam. And of course, one might say, thinking of Krishna, what is there to think about? At the beginning, we may think like that. How can I? I know I can think of my work, of my job. There is much to think about. I can think of so many things I want, so many desires. I can think of dreaming of my next holiday. That these things are very easy. So what about Krishna? We need a little bit of knowledge about Krishna. We know Krishna. We know his address. We know where he lives. We know where he performs his pastimes. We know that he is dark bluish. We know that he is a young youth. We know that he wears a peacock feather in his crown. We know that he has some beautiful ornaments. We know that he loves the cows. We know that he loves to exchange loving feelings with the gopis. We know that he likes to roam in the forest of Vrindavan with his friends. We know that he likes to steal butter. There's an unlimited ocean of what to speak of his different pastimes. The whole Bhagavatam is full of pastimes. So how can we say we don't know what to think, how to think of Krishna? There's so many things to think of Krishna, to appreciate Krishna. His beauty is just super excellent. So much beauty is there. So we can think Krishna. Let me give you, if I can, a quick example, quick practical example how to think of Krishna. Think of Krishna's beauty. That's what I'm trying to. Okay, one moment.
Prabhu, we can pray also, like
Hey,
during our,
Vandanam. Yeah. Vandanam, praying.
also like when you are drinking water, you can remember that the taste of water is Krishna. Sun is one eye of Krishna. Moon is one another eye of Krishna.
Yeah.
And every living entity is actually an energy of Krishna.
Absolutely. So there's unlimited possibilities. So let's have a look. Here. Srimati Radharani, isn't she beautiful? No, that is a little bit of Krishna's beauty. There's unlimited beauty of the Lord. Yes, continuous thinking of the Supreme Lord makes him pure by nature. So we'll have to find a way of continuously thinking, of praying, of hearing, of chanting, the 9 process of devotional service, of course. Then Srila Prabhupada carries on. According to the Vedas, there are certain regulations that if one falls down from his exalted position, he has to undergo certain ritualistic processes to purify himself, which is known as prayashchitta, atonement, which is a process, a Vedic process of atonement if we we fall down from our exalted position. Then Srila Prabhupada carries on, but there is no such condition because the purifying process is already there in the heart of the devotee. What is that purifying process already there in the heart of the devotee? So Srila Prabhupada writes, due to his remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. Due to remembering. If you remember Krishna constantly, by the different ways, as Amrita Radhe Mataji is saying, we're praying to Krishna, not formally. Formal Chayantibai, Hare Krishna, welcome. Formal praying and hearing and chanting, that will not help us too much. I just spoke with someone today who said, yes, I have been practicing Krishna consciousness, but I haven't been able to open my heart. I have been formally practicing. So the formal practice, intellectual reading, we taking Bhagavad Gītā and Srimad Bhagavatam in an intellectual way, like we learning medical studies at university when becoming a doctor, or any other intellectual reading and studying. So that is not what is needed here. We need to go much more deeper. Gyan, just knowledge, intellectual knowledge, that will not help us. That is almost like a parrot can repeat so many things. And we can repeat so many things too. But knowledge starts with humility. That's a very important point. What's that verse? Vidya Vinaya Sampane, Amrita Radhe Mataji. Vidya Vinaya Sampane.
Brahmane Gavihastine Suni Cheva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshina.
What is the translation?
A Brahmane, a learned person sees.
Actually, Bhagavad Gītā says a humble sage.
Oh.
Not just learned, a humble sage.
A humble sage sees Gavihastina, cow, elephant, dog eater, and a pandit and a Brahmin at the same level. I mean, he sees them all equally.
Yes, so generally in this verse, we're stressing the equal vision. But we cannot have this equal vision if we are not a humble sage. So without humility, knowledge is quite useless. It's just book knowledge, not realized knowledge. Book knowledge will not help us very much because we don't have the quality of humility. So the humble sage can develop this equal vision. He has this equal vision. The sage who is not humble, he cannot have this equal vision. Intellectually, he can have this equal vision, but not in practice. So that is very important. So knowledge goes along with humility. If the humility is missing, and we have, then knowledge becomes actually dangerous. Srila Prabhupada says knowledge, little knowledge is dangerous. Why? Because we come puffed up with little knowledge. We think we're knowing so much. And then we become arrogant and puffed up, and pride comes in. So this is not helping us very much. So we need to practice humility. Trinata pisunichana tarora pisahishnuna amadina manadina kirtaniya sadahari. That verse, we are advised we should wear as a necklace around our neck. So it means very close to us all the time. Humility, like the straw in the street, tolerant like a tree, giving respect to others without expecting respect in return. So if these qualities have been realized, implemented in our practical life, then we can see with equal vision. And then Srila Prabhupada carries on. The purifying process is already there in the heart of the devotee. So no need of prayashchitta, the ritualistic purification. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada says, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, should be continued without stoppage. Normally we read over these statements and we don't really think, what does it mean without stoppage? Yes, I chant every day. My 16 rounds for 2 hours, so there's no stoppage. But that's not what it means. It means continuously without stoppage, all day long. 24 hours, this Hare Krishna chanting, this mantra should continue without stoppage. Let that mantra go around and around and around, and then soon our mind will be fixed on Krishna, because Krishna and his name are non-different. And then we'll come to the point where we are as Srila Prabhupada mentions here, continuous thinking of the Lord makes our heart pure. Continuous chanting, continuous thinking. Man mana bhava mat bhakto, always think of me. Twice in Bhagavad Gītā, Krishna is saying, always think of me. So that is the trick, that's the secret of always thinking. We might think, how is it possible? I can always think. Isn't it boring to always think of the same? No, Krishna is not boring. As Mataji have already mentioned, as a taste of water, of the mountains, I'm the Himalayas, of the seas, I'm seas, and I'm the... So many, a whole chapter. How Krishna is everything. Everything. Krishna is a chair. Krishna is a desk. Krishna is a bed. So, but we don't make that connection. That is our problem. We think the bed is for our comfort. We think the chair is for our comfort. The desk is helpful to us. But we can train the mind and progress in our Krishna consciousness that we see Krishna everywhere. And not in an impersonal way. In an impersonal way, yes, everything rests on me like pearls on a string. Everything rests on the Brahman, the impersonal way. But Krishna is very personal. If we make this connection, let's put it like this. If we make this connection with Krishna by constantly thinking of him, if we manage that at any stage of our devotional service, without stoppage, we manage to always think of Krishna. We manage to chanting his name always. We got a connection. We got a direct connection with the Lord. It's like holding the hand of Krishna. It's like, in a bit more impersonal way expressed, we are linking with a super consciousness. We know there's a consciousness, our consciousness, we are this consciousness, and we know there is a super consciousness, the Paramatma in our heart. So if we link with the Paramatma, Paramatma is in everyone's heart. An example. Everyone nowadays has a mobile phone. So theoretically, we can link with everybody through WhatsApp and whatever. Think of it as a WhatsApp group with all human beings on that group of 8 billion people. 8 billion people strong WhatsApp group. We can connect with anybody. So because Krishna is connected as a Paramatma, which is in everybody's heart, he knows what's going on in everybody's mind. And Krishna has that capacity. We don't have that. Krishna has that capacity of simultaneously knowing what is going on in everybody's heart. Wow, that's quite something amazing. How we can know what is going on in the life of a limited group of friends and family members. And even there we don't really know very deeply. But we know externally what's going on with a group of 10, 12 friends maybe. That's a max. But Krishna, he knows what's going on not only in almost 8 billion human beings, he knows what's going on in all living entities. There's something going on in the animals, something is going on as well. It's not that they are without any consciousness. Look at the cow, highly developed consciousness. So animals have consciousness, so Krishna knows what is going on in their consciousness as well. So let's take all consciousness of all living entity in one pot. Krishna knows it all. So therefore, if we link with his Paramatma, we get a really permanent link with Paramatma. Then we automatically link with every living entity. There's no question then of even thinking of harming any living entity, because we have a personal connection to every living entity, a personal connection, like family member. But we limit ourselves, unfortunately. We have a personal connection to family members. There it stops. I had some discussion many years ago with someone meat eating in the family. And I said, why don't you, you want to eat the cow? You're killing the cow. Why don't you eat your dog? And the reaction was interesting. Oh no, that goes against my sentiment. That is family. That was the argument. The dog is family. Therefore, I don't eat those within that circle of family. If the cow would be family, as it used to be, and still it is in India, the cow is part of the family. There's no question of eating the cow, of killing the cow. It's family. But if we expanding our consciousness to all living entity, if we are connected with the super soul, the super consciousness, then we are connected with every living entity. How can we harm even a plant? How can we pick thoughtlessly a branch from a tree? How can we pick thoughtlessly a flower and then throw it away? You see people picking a flower, smelling it, and throwing it on the ground. How can we do that? Even plants. If we are thoughtful, we don't do that. If we pick a flower, we'll take it home and offer it to Krishna. That's a different story. And Krishna enjoys, and then we smell it afterwards. Not we pick a flower, smell it, and throw it on the ground. That we don't do. We have to ask permission. Or we don't cut down a tree thoughtlessly. Before we cut down a tree, there is a lot of thinking, and is that is needed or this and that. Because we are connected. The Red Indians in America, they are very connected with nature. We know that. Manitou, their name for the spirit, the highest spirit, they're very connected. They were hunters, yes, but when they killed an animal, they did it as a sacrifice, fully in consciousness. That's this animal, and they said some prayers and all of that. So we get connected with Paramatma, with a super consciousness. We are connected with everyone. So let's go a little bit further. This chanting of Hare Krishna, without stoppage, Srila Prabhupada writes in the last sentence of this purport, this will protect the devotee from all accidental fall downs. He will thus remain perpetually free from all material contaminations. Yes, naturally. If we are connected to Krishna in a loving relationship, there's no question of fall down. Fall down means a forgetfulness of Krishna. If we always remember Krishna, always chanting his name, when engaging in the 9 process of devotional service, there's no question of accidental fall down. And such a devotee will remain perpetually free from material contaminations. Okay, let's at this stage stop, and if there are any questions, please do ask. Amritarati.
Prabhu, I was just thinking that it is so easy to think of someone whom we love.
Yes.
Like, as a mother, it's very easy to think, oh, what my son must be doing, eating, whatever. Actually, because we have never seen Krishna, we have only heard a few things about him. And though they say that by hearing you will develop love for Krishna, we are still, as in for 20 years, I'm still trying to fall in love with Krishna. And yeah, like most of the times I keep chanting. If not Hare Krishna, it's mainly Radha Govinda, Vithala Rakumai, like those words, like those names, holy names. So that's the point. And yeah, so I do try to think of Krishna, but it doesn't come naturally. Your comments, Prabhu.
Okay. We have discussed it a little bit before you came. Why doesn't it come naturally? Why? Because, yes, you're quite right. We should have a love affair with Krishna. We should fully fall in love with Krishna. It needs a bit of training because we have been in the business of forgetting Krishna. We came to this material world to forget Krishna, not to fall in love with Krishna. Otherwise, we would have never left Krishna. No, we fell in love with this material world. We wanted to find out how it feels. If I see some nice form, if I touch something soft, if I hear some pleasing sound, if I smell some sweet fragrance, if I taste some variety of tastes which the tongue provides. So that is our love affair. There can be only a love affair with this material energy, which is also Krishna's energy, of course. Daiviyesha gunamai, this divine energy of mine. Daivi, divine energy. That's why we fall in love with this material energy, because it's Krishna's energy. But in the process of falling in love with this material energy, we completely disconnected from Krishna. It's his energy. If we interact with this material energy and are Krishna conscious, we are, whenever we eat something, smell, see, hear, touch, we make that connection with Krishna, and then it becomes devotional service immediately. If we remember Krishna throughout, therefore Srila Prabhupada stressed so much. Remembering Krishna, always thinking of Krishna. If we do that, then everything what we do becomes devotional service. And if we forget Krishna, we don't make that connection with Krishna, then everything becomes Maya. It's as simple as that. So yes, it is easy to love our children, our husband, wife, and parents, friends, because we see them in the flesh. That's the problem. We think that is superior. That seeing with our eyes, that touching, giving a hug. We think all of that is superior to, and we cannot do with Krishna. Actually, we can. In an advanced stage of devotional service, we see Krishna. We even physically, we see Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says the day will come, you will see Krishna face to face. That will also come, if we want that. But we can taste Krishna. When we eat prasadam, that is Krishna. We have just to understand that prasadam is non-different from Krishna. We taste Krishna. Well, we don't taste our family members, do we? Our children, or sometimes we may kiss them and have a little bit of taste. But we can actually taste Krishna. We can see Krishna, particularly if we have deities at home, that will help us. But this love affair with Krishna, and love affair means in the widest sense, I explained before you came, Amrita Radhe Mataji, a love affair with Krishna can be in friendship, it can be in parental love. Love affair does not necessarily mean what it means here in this material world, love affair between male and female. No, it's much more extended. We can have a love affair as a friend, as a parent, as a servant, like Arjuna. There's no question Arjuna had a love affair with Krishna. He loved Krishna. He would do anything for Krishna. That's a love affair. So, how then can we feel the same love affair to Krishna as we feel that love for our children, husband, wife, and friends and family members? That's a question. It has to be developed. Srila Prabhupada many times told us, in India, boy and girl used to get married at a very young age. Very young age, 5 years. Of course, as some people condemn that, they're thinking then young children, then they're living together. No, they don't live together. They're living at their parents' house, but they get formally married at a young age. And then the girl gets trained to serve the husband in a natural way. They encourage the girl, okay, go bring the dishes in. The husband sits there with the family, and the girl is bringing the food to the table. The girl is cooking. The girl is doing some services. So there is some training there from a small age on. Then as they grow older, then that service attitude is already trained and embedded. And then the love affair is basically trained from small childhood on. So for us, what does that mean for us? That love affair with Krishna, and that can go to the highest levels of love, like the gopis, like the cowherd boys, like Uddhava, like so many, like Arjuna, like Masa Yashoda and Nanda Baba. So that love affair, welcome. That love affair is trained from small childhood on. So how we train this love affair with Krishna? That question would be asked. Here Srila Prabhupada gives us a good hint. By constantly thinking of Krishna, and we have already explained, there are much to think about Krishna. If you get absorbed in the Bhagavatam, unlimited, there are 11 cantos. 11 cantos with unlimited pastimes of devotees and about Krishna. There's no difference. The pastimes of devotees and the pastimes of the Lord. Pure devotees. We don't differentiate. It's all on the transcendental level because pure devotees are fully engaged in the Lord's service. So hearing about the devotees' pastimes like Srila Prabhupada's pastimes for a short time in physically present, so that is as good. Prabhupada memories, beautiful, if you ever get the chance. Forgot his name, Prabhu, who has been on is given us a Zoom meeting. He went around to all the senior Srila Prabhupada disciples, and he asks them, so what do you remember about Srila Prabhupada? All these disciples, they had personal association with Srila Prabhupada. And they remembered so many things, so many beautiful stories. He recorded that on video and so compiled them in a book, in CDs. They're all found on YouTube. Memories of Srila Prabhupada. If you search for memories of Srila Prabhupada, you will come across. Just let's pick out one story because they are absolutely beautiful stories. Mataji, Srila Prabhupada was coming to the temple. Forgot her name. These are all older devotees now. They're 60s, 70s. And she had that strong desire to touch Srila Prabhupada's feet. Because we hear from Shastra, touching the feet of the spiritual master, of the pure devotee, is extremely potent. The dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotee. There is many statements in Shastra and songs about the dust of the lotus feet. Many of her friends had previously, they spoke about, they had touched Srila Prabhupada's feet. But she hadn't. And then she had the desire to offer full dandavat when Srila Prabhupada is sitting on his Vyasasan. But then the temple president, just before, he said to the ladies who used to offer full dandavat, ladies used to do that in ISKCON. But then the temple president said, that's not proper. Ladies, they just bow down. The men offer full dandavat, the ladies not. That's not proper. Because the breast of a woman should not touch the ground. So she was disappointed. I gave all my life to Srila Prabhupada, and nobody can tell me I cannot offer full dandavat to Srila Prabhupada. So when it came her turn, others before her, they offered the dandavat or obeisances and they touched Srila Prabhupada's feet. That was her desire. And when it came her turn, she offered full dandavat, but somehow or other she couldn't touch Srila Prabhupada's feet. Then the moment passed, the chance passed. She was very disappointed. She was just not able, she didn't have the courage to touch Srila Prabhupada's feet. And then Srila Prabhupada was leaving, getting up from the Vyasasana, and the devotees made a corridor right and left, and she thought, that is my last chance. That is my last chance. Now I can just go down and touch Srila Prabhupada's feet while he walks in that corridor with the devotees, right and left, chanting, kirtan. And then she bowed down and wanted to touch Srila Prabhupada's feet. And there was like a glass wall. She just couldn't. There was just like a physical wall out of glass. She couldn't get through that wall. And she was so desperate, and she couldn't. She prayed, please, Krishna, let me touch Srila Prabhupada's feet, and she couldn't. And then she saw right behind Tulsi Devi, and she prayed to Tulsi, please, Tulsi, you are the servant of the Lord. Please, let me be able to touch Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. And as soon as she prayed to Tulsi, that invisible wall disappeared. And she could touch Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. And Srila Prabhupada just walked on as if not have realized anything. So she thought a big deal about that whole experience. The pure devotee is so protected. Krishna is just like building an invisible wall around his pure devotee. Nobody can approach. That was her first realization. Her second realization was, as soon as I prayed to a devotee of Krishna, then I could touch Srila Prabhupada. That devotee of Krishna was Tulsi Devi. So that is the power of a devotee. If we take shelter of a devotee, then everything is possible. So this is just one of many, many stories and memories. There's an ocean. So how can we say we cannot, there's nothing to think about Krishna? When the 11th canto and 18,000 verses of the Bhagavatam, and there is a whole Mahabharata, and there is a memories and this, and there is an unlimited ocean. One cannot even, there is enough books there from Srila Prabhupada to last for reading, lasting for a lifetime. So that's all Krishna. So gradually, we're training ourselves, we're training our mind to remember Krishna. And then, before we know, in particular, if we actually execute Krishna's order, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto, always think of me. And we execute Srila Prabhupada's order, continuously chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Continuously we chant. Then that love affair with Krishna will manifest. Will really manifest. There's no question, like Srila Prabhupada is explaining here. Because the purifying process is already there in the heart of the devotee due to remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. That's a purifying process, just by remembering. That is just Vishnu Smaranam. That's just one of the processes, of the 9 processes. By constantly remembering Krishna, the purifying process is already there. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, should be continued without stoppage. This will protect the devotee from all accidental fall downs. He will thus remain perpetually free from all material contamination. Isn't that nice? Perpetually free. Because the consciousness is absorbed in Krishna. Amrita Radhe Mataji, is that answering the question somehow?
Yes, Prabhu, beautifully. But I have 2 follow-up questions.
Okay.
One is that, okay, like I love my sons, I love my husband, my parents. So sometimes I serve them nicely, take care of them, talk sweetly to them. Sometimes I also get annoyed and I, shout back, reply back. But that's also all under, the umbrella of love. So
Yep.
now what happens is when we are serving, our deities at home, there are so many rules, like you have to wash your hands before doing this, before doing that, you have to do this, you can't offer him this, that, like that. So with people whom we love in this world, we sometimes treat them nicely. Most of the times we treat them nicely, but sometimes we do get angry, annoyed, and we don't we kind of ignore them once in a while, like that. At least I do. So I was thinking, why can't we do that with Krishna? Why can't I, relax a little and maybe offer him something like you always say biscuits can't be offered, though I offer them honestly sometimes when I'm not in a mood to cook and all. So why can't we take such liberty under the umbrella of love again?
Thank you.
That's
Beautiful
one
question.
question.
Let
And
me
second
first answer
question.
it. Let me answer
Okay,
that
okay.
question first. Remember your second question. We come to that. Why not? Why we cannot have this relationship with Krishna? If we have that relationship with Krishna, like with your deities and all the rules and regulations, and that is on the level of Aishwarya, of respect. That is a Vaikuntha level. On that Vaikuntha level, there is no question of choking and scolding the Lord. No question. But as our devotional service progresses and becomes spontaneous, on that spontaneous raga platform, all this is happening. There are many devotees, advanced devotees, who have developed that kind of relationship with Krishna. They're scolding Krishna. Look at Mother Yashoda. She is scolding Krishna. What have you done? You're stealing the butter of us at other people's houses. Do you think we don't have, our butter is not good enough? She bound him even to a mortar And so that is exchanges of love on a advanced level of our Krishna consciousness. Yes, we can scold Krishna. Look, the cowherd boys. They're sitting on Krishna's shoulder. Krishna is maintaining the entire universe and everything. And here's the cowherd boys. They're sitting on Krishna's shoulder. Look at Arjuna. The Supreme Lord becomes his chariot driver, and Arjuna is just ordering him around. Now go here, now go there, now stop. This is a loving affair. We can develop in our relationship with Krishna. It starts off with Aishwarya, yes, with a respect and Vaikuntha relationship. But then it goes further. Then we have to come to the spontaneous Raganuga platform. That's all. Amrita Rati. Oh, who is that? Is that Ritua, actually?
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, yes. Let's first take Amrita Rati's second question.
Thank you, Prabhu, for answering. My second question, maybe you can discuss in the second class, but because in another class, because
Okay.
my question is that is Guru a person or is Guru a tattva? I asked this question because you were giving that story of Srila Prabhupada. So in that connection, I wanted to know, because I see that so many devotees of Srila Prabhupada are so much in love with Srila Prabhupada. I have some attachment for my Guru Maharaj, but it's not like, it's not. I hear from so many different devotees, and some devotees I can speak personally, like to you, to Siddhilalsa Mataji, and so degree of affection is greater for them compared to what it should be for my Guru Maharaj. So that's what I wanted to know. Is Guru a person, or is he a tattva, or is it a tattva, Guru tattva? Like that. That was my question, but maybe you can discuss in some other class, because that wasn't the main point.
Okay. Let's just very quickly, briefly. Guru is both. He's a person. Srila Prabhupada was here. He's a person. The Master is a person. But Srila Prabhupada also said, Guru is a principle, not the body. What does that mean? That sounds almost like tattva, but that sounds a little bit impersonal. We should not see what it means. We should not see just the body of Guru. That is very easily done because we are in the bodily concept of life. That is unfortunately hindering us at the beginning. We are so much in the bodily of conception of life. Therefore, we need deity worship. We cannot do without deities, and we cannot offer any service. So that cements in our consciousness personality. So, but if we see Guru only the body of the Guru, he sings so nicely, he looks so nice, and so if we see too much just the body of a Guru, then that will not help us. There are many statements in Shastra, even if the Guru is, his body is deformed in some ways. So look at Chaitanya Swami. There are so many health problems. And his face is kind of deformed with his speech there. So if we have developed a higher sense of understanding the spiritual master, not looking at the body only. If we're looking at the body, we want to see a handsome body, we want to see all of that. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada said, Guru is a principle, not the body. We shouldn't be stuck on the bodily concept too much. We may need that. I have come to that conclusion. That, like we need deity worship, we need someone personally being there in front of us and helping us advancing Krishna consciousness. Therefore, there are many gurus, there are Shiksha gurus, there are Diksha gurus, there are senior devotees. So, therefore, the association of devotees is so important. Not just the sound. When we're more advanced, the sound vibration can be enough. Like Srila Prabhupada also says many times, the Vani, the sound, is superior to the Vapu, the bodily manifestation. How do we understand that? It's very easy. When Guru Maharaj comes, Jai Gurudev, Hare Krishna. Yes, but very often on a neophyte platform, that is very superficial, or can be very superficial. But it helps us to train ourselves in devotion. That's the beginning, so helpful. But later on, let's say, Srila Prabhupada also says, when the physical form of the spiritual master disappears, then we take, the sincere disciple, he takes shelter of his Vani. So the time will come for everyone when that physical form is not anymore appreciated. Of course, while the spiritual master is there physically, we have to serve him. We have to serve his physical form, make him comfortable, and in so many, many ways. Like Srila Prabhupada got massage from his devotees, and in so many ways. I saw the other day a picture of Govinda Maharaj. He was frail in a stick, and a devotee holding him by the hand, helping him down the stairs. Or Chaitanya Maharaj, he needs some physical assistance. So, but when the spiritual master is not physically there, it doesn't mean he is gone. No, he's there in his Vani. He's always been there in his Vani, even while the physical form was present. Therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he appreciated Srila Prabhupada so much because he was so eager to hear. Any devotee, and particularly the spiritual master, is most pleased if the disciple is eager to hear. Very important, eager to hear. There's a story where some devotees were there with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, including Srila Prabhupada, and then someone said, okay, it's time for Harinam, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was just talking. Time for Harinam. Who wants to go on Harinam? And all the devotees went on Harinam, but Srila Prabhupada didn't go. He stayed with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And later on, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta remarked, this boy is very eager to hear. Srila Prabhupada was everyone went on Harinam. And Srila Prabhupada stayed back because he was very eager to hear. So again, if the spiritual master is there physically, we'll serve him. And a devotee who, even while the spiritual master is physically appreciated, he has developed an attachment to his instructions, then the spiritual master will be very pleased, because that is more important. And that is higher, not that we're neglecting the physical presence, but the Vani is higher because it's always available. Srila Prabhupada said, I feel the presence of my spiritual master right besides me. And if we get absorbed in Srila Prabhupada or Guru Maharaj's instructions, and we never separated. We never separated. I don't feel ever separated from Srila Prabhupada. I feel the same. He's there, available, right next. So much hearing has gone over 50 years into my brain. So Srila Prabhupada is present, always. The connection is there. So that we have to consolidate, should we? Is Guru a person or Tattva? Both. Both. When the spiritual master leaves physically, then the disciple takes full advantage of the Vani, of the instructions. That's all what he has now, the instructions. Does that answer your question, Amrita Rati Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. So basically, when Guru Maharaj is there, then we must take association.
Absolutely.
And if he's not there, we must follow his instructions. Can I ask another question in relation to this one?
Okay.
So Prabhu, in one Vyasa Puja celebration, one devotee was quoting Aindra Prabhu, saying that Prabhupada has given so many instructions, but in this life, if we can follow 2 or 3 instructions very seriously, then that would be perfection for us.
So I said again,
So,
if we can in this life,
if we can follow 2 or 3 instructions of Srila Prabhupada very seriously in this life, then that will be perfection for us. So I often meditate on this statement, but because indeed my Guru Maharaj has given so many instructions, but there are 1 or 2 that I seriously try to, actually there's one which I very seriously try to follow. So what is your comment on this approach?
well, it's not a pick and choose, isn't it? Like, there's a feast. Okay, you just pick and choose. So like in, where was it? In Delhi, restaurant, a buffet. Oh, beautiful. Pots and pots and pots of hot sub-cheese and rice and everything. Okay, pick and choose. Take your plate, whatever you want. Pick and choose. No. Because if we leave the pick and choose to our own mind, then we know. The mind is picking. Oh, that's easy. And that as a principle, I don't follow that. That is, that is a little bit difficult. So we have to follow all the instructions of the spiritual master and all the instructions of Bhagavad Gītā and all the instruction of Srila Prabhupada is not pick and choose. But if we can focus on 1 or 2 or 3 without neglecting the others, but especially, it's like with a, if we can just hear properly, just hear, or just chant, or just Vishnu Smaranam, just remembering, any of the 9 devotional processes will give full success, full success. We don't have to execute all 9 devotional processes. Prabhupada says many times. We can. Ambarish Maharaj followed all 9 processes. But even if we just concentrate on 1 or 2 or just perfection was there for Shukadev Goswami, Kirtanam. Perfection was there for Maharaj Parikshita, Shravanam. So on, for Bali Maharaj, Atmanivedanam, and so on. So I guess I haven't heard Indra saying that. We will just, I guess it is just that we don't get too much discouraged. Oh, I cannot follow all the instructions. Okay, so just concentrate for the time being. Concentrate on 1 or 2 or 3. But actually, we'll have to follow all the instructions. And we will get the strength. We will be able to do that more and more and
more. Okay, Prabhu, thank you so much.
Okay, Ritu and Prabhuji, you have a question.
Yes,
sorry for letting you wait that long.
No, that's fine. Prabhu, my question was like in the trail of what Amrita Radhe asked. Basically, when do we actually know that what we are doing is out of love and not out of laziness when we are serving the deity or serving anybody, any devotee or because as you mentioned, like that kind of love is really very high in the sense like you gave the examples of the Brajavasis, but we cannot compare ourselves with the Brajavasis. My question is, how do we know that I have reached that stage where I can have a loving relationship, where I can scold, where I can, uh, neglect in the sense sometimes like, gopis and cowherd boys used to neglect Krishna and not take him in their, sports or play. So those are very high things. And what I have heard from the devotees is that that kind of stage is only reached when we don't have a single speck of material desire. But I have so many desires in my heart. So how can I say that my scolding or my so-called slackening of the service is out of love and not out of laziness on my part?
Yeah, good question. Good question. I would say don't artificially scold Krishna when the heart is not pure, right? Then it's just some imitation or laziness, as you said, or whatever. So that relationship, how can you tell? Well, you can tell, everybody can tell, if there are material desires in the heart. Everybody knows. And or if the material desires are decreasing, everybody knows. And once the material desires are gone or almost gone, then we approaching that stage of spontaneous loving service. We become so much like in this verse tonight. We discussing Kaunteya Pratijhani Name Bhakta Pranashyati. If we constantly absorbed, like here, Srila Prabhupada writes, but here there is so much, no, because the purifying process is already there in the heart of the devotee due to remembering the Supreme Lord constantly. And that is, if we remember Krishna constantly, then the purifying process is there within the heart. And therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna should be continued without stoppage. This will protect the devotee from all accidental fall downs. He will thus remain perpetually free from all material contaminations. So, if we are free from all material contaminations, and we know that, if we're free, or if we're almost free, or if we're 50% free, or 90% free, that we can know that. So naturally, without any special endeavor, sense and spontaneity of spontaneous attraction, that love affair with Krishna will grow in the heart more and more and more. There's no question about it. We will feel that. And then we'll come to a stage where we become so much a relationship with Krishna, then we can also scold Krishna. If we have that relationship, like a parental or even friendship. Friends do this kind of things amongst each other, and it is not artificial. Once the heart is pure, fully pure, this spontaneous activities are there. Undoubtedly, but not before. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
We're running over time. Amit is still here. Everybody is still here. Well, very interesting verse, Amit. You came up tonight. And some very nice question, Amrita Radhamatichi Rituan as well. Amit, you have a question? Last?
No, Prabhu, it was interesting to hear, but yeah, it kind of all makes sense to me as well. The more you say it just reiterates.
Yes.
Really, that's all it.
We cannot at the moment imagine to have a spontaneous, loving relationship with God. We can intellectually understand that, but not how it feels like. But once we are there, then it's beyond intellectual understanding. And it's not just from one moment to the next that loving relationship will develop. It's a gradual. We feel that our relationship with Krishna gets more and more solid. That manifests more and more. Our thinking about Krishna is growing more and more. Our absorption, all that, we can feel that. And then we coming to the actual real stage of Krishna consciousness, which is Raga Bhakti, which is spontaneous loving service. You find that Srila Prabhupada speaks about it in different places. That is actually devotional service. That's what Krishna appreciates. Spontaneity. And then we can have a relationship with Krishna just we having our relationship with family members. And Krishna becomes a family member. We have read, like Sanatana Goswami, how he's treating his Madan Mohan deity. Sanatana Goswami had nothing. And he offered some chapati to the deity, without salt, without ghee, nothing. And then, on that stage, the devotee is so much connected with Krishna that he can hear Krishna. He can have conversations with Krishna. Not necessarily a conversation which enters, like here in this material world, through the ear, that Krishna is speaking in the ear. That can also happen, of course. Like Narada Muni, he heard the voice of the Lord. But through the heart, Krishna will reveal. Krishna said through the heart. Oh, I don't know, maybe in not in real, through the heart is also real. He made it clear. Can you not offer me some chapatis with a bit of salt? When Sanatana Goswami replied to Krishna, to his deity, now you want salt, and tomorrow you want ghee, and then you want sabji. I'm just a poor mendicant. I cannot afford that. So he was scolding the Lord. So we know Vamshidas Babaji. You might have heard of him. It was only 200 years back or 100 years back, at the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Vamshidas Babaji, he was an Avadhuta. He talked with his deity constantly. In fact, he didn't talk to anybody else directly. If someone asking a question, like Amrita Radhimadaji or Liliton, you ask a question, then Vamshidas Babaji would speak via his Gopal, I think, deity. He would answer her. What do you think, Gopal? Or Gopal is saying this and this. So he never spoke directly with any person. He spoke via his Gopal. And sometimes he scolded his Gopal. And sometimes he packed his Gopal away and didn't do nothing. And other times, and he based him and this and that. So this is beyond. This is such a high devotional level that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta sent devotees to Vamshidas just to get his prasadam and bring it back. There's a little booklet.
Prabhu, sorry, I have to go now. Okay, Hare Krishna. So
Okay, we're stopping also. Thank you, Amit. Hare Krishna. There's a booklet called Vamshidas Babaji. I think it may have been done by our Bhakti Vikash Swami.
Yes.
Have you read that? Have you read that?
Yeah, yes, we have. Yeah.
What an amazing relationship he had with Krishna. That is even beyond what we can comprehend. But it is possible to have that relationship with Krishna. So there is a long way to go. But we can develop a loving relationship. In fact, I was speaking to someone today. We must have a love affair with Krishna. We must develop a love affair with Krishna. Because if we don't have a love affair with Krishna, we have a love affair with this material world. That's all. Either we develop a love affair with Krishna or we having a love affair with the material energy. Okay, I think here we stop. Everybody drops off one by one. Thank you very much, Rituan. I hope this was helpful. See you on Saturday. How was your Namhata?
Prabhu, it was good, really nice. So there were some new devotees also. I mean, new people joining in, brought by some other devotees.
Good.
So it was good, like growing.
Nice. Okay, thank you very much. See you Saturday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.